All right, so I haven't made one of these before, but I was going to do an install video to show you how I installed my switch panel 9100. There's lots of good videos on how to install them, so I figured I was just going to show a setup, show you what I did, because I really have never done much of this before, and I was just going to let everybody know that it's possible. It's something that's fairly easy to do. I did it over the course of a couple evenings and was able to really get it squared away the way that I like it. I did kind of buy once, cry once, and made the investment into the system, and it's really paid off, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I was going to give everybody a quick look at what I did, and then just a brief rundown of where you can get all the stuff. I'll put the links down below. Like I said, I don't do very many of these, but I'm looking at doing more. So if you like it, go ahead and like, subscribe, all the normal stuff. And let me show you what I did. All right, so for this setup, I've got the POWERTRAY unit, which I'm pretty happy with, and it comes with the mounting tray. It comes with the Blue Sea Systems switch panel, fuse. Comes with the bus bar block and terminal block. The POWERTRAY is sold separately, but it comes with all these connectors. It's fused, so it protects the computer, it protects the fuse block, everything like that. And I've got a little bit of cleaning up to do down here, but I feel like I've done a fairly good job. Everything's kind of tidied up, and it's really hard to see down in there, I know. But I went ahead and did this. Let's see here. I did the heat shrink on the ends, along with the wire looming on all of these, and they come up here to the terminal block. I may or may not be getting that right, but I've got my switches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so forth, that I can hook everything up to, which correlates to the switches inside of the switch panel. And then I saved this extra cord and kind of coiled it up just cause. I really like how it turned out. I really cleaned up my battery posts and terminals, because as Tacoma owners know, this grounding port here can get kind of cluttered. And so beforehand, I'll show you what I was working with. So before, I have a pretty simple setup on here. I've got a 20-inch Baja Designs mounted here in the front bumper. And that's been super useful. I really like it. I can't complain at all about the Baja Designs. And I wired it up to a switch when I first got it. So that involved taking 2 sets of wires, because it's got the amber backlight function on there as well. So I had to ride that through the through the firewall, sorry, which takes time. And it takes up space. You can't really find space. I've got the fogs, and I've got some of these ditch lights as well, right here, and they were also wired to a switch. Same spot as the switch panel, but it was all wired to the switch. So what I did was, one day while I was here at work, it was a slow day, and I was able to kind of pre-wire everything on to the POWERTRAY unit. POWERTRAY unit, like I said, I'll link it down below, but it was probably $300-ish for it. And that came with all of the cables, all of the connectors, all the heat shrink, everything was labeled. It was a perfect setup. Like I said, it was buy once, cry once. And then you have to buy the Switch Pro, which is worth every single penny. But half of the battle was I had all this wiring tucked in under the firewall right here. It was kind of tucked in back underneath here, and I would tuck it under this like brace here, and so I had all these harnesses tucked in, and it made for a lot of wire. And so the nerve-wracking part is it tells you in the switch panel instructions that you can cut it off. You don't need any of the fuses, you just need hot in the ground. So that's what I did. I pulled all of my harnesses in one day, and I clipped all the wires, and I put eyelets, ring terminals on the end, heat shrink everything, did the wire looming, everything like that. And they did it. And then the best part about the switch panel is there's only one cable that goes through your firewall. There was a lot of videos online showing where you could mount this, where you could mount this panel, but it was also, you know, trying to pull wires and find the ignition source and all that kind of stuff. And there was 2 videos I found online that said you couldn't do it with add a fuse. And I don't know why. It worked just fine with the add a fuse here. I added a fuse to the headlight and to the ignition, and it works just fine. So being able to get that wired properly, the Switch Pro does have, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it does have 2 little indicator lights down here that will tell you when it's plugged in correctly. And then the rest of the time was just spent getting the wires where they needed to be. And I also wired up the Miso Customs hitch light, and I made a little weather pack connection. You can kind of see it back up in here. Hard to focus, but I just did a little weather pack, that way I could disconnect it if I wanted to and zip tied it. Again, I've got the wire loom and then ran it all the way to the front. But it turned out really, really nice. It just used like 12 feet of looming as I ran it up under, and then I also ran, you can kind of see it right here, I ran it behind this guard and then up back underneath the strut tower there. I know it's dark, hard to see, but comes up and then it makes it stupid simple. I guess my point with making the video wasn't to do an install video. Like I said, you can find plenty of install videos, but I wouldn't consider myself electrical savvy at all. But if you can read a fuse panel or a fuse box and decide what's what, and you know how to use some crimpers, like this is a fairly easy to do install in a matter of a couple hours. And then it's just wiring up your lights, and if you've ordered lights and have a harness, you can cut the harness up, or you can make your own harnesses, which kind of trial and error, and you can hook up those. But I wanted to let everybody know that yeah, you can do it. Like I said, it's fairly simple, but it's totally worth it. The system protects itself. I would highly recommend the POWERTRAY's unit because it comes with, I don't know if I showed these, I kind of mentioned them, but it comes with these 2 fused terminal ends here. And in this, there's a 100 and a 125 amp breaker. And one goes to, and it's labeled, I still have the label on this side, I don't know if I can show, but it's kind of coming off. But this one says to the Switch Pro, and then this one on the other end says to the Blue Sea system. Okay, see the label on the inside there. But that way it protects itself. So it protects the computer, the Switch Pro sending computer, and then it also protects any devices you might have plugged in. So with that, I mean, you can blow a fuse, but I looked online and these fuses are like $15, and so I was going to order a couple extras just in case something happens. But it's a simple install to do, guys, and it will make all of your future installs easier, whether that's winch, whether that's an ARB twin compressor, whether that's a roof rack, which is my plan next, is a roof rack with some lights on there, and you can literally just run 2 wires down and plug them in, and then you can program it. The app is mediocre, but it works every time I've done it. So just wanted to give you guys a little piece. We got a truck coming in, so I'm gonna take off, but go ahead and do it. Like I said, give a like, subscribe if that helps. If you have any questions about how it's installed, let me know. Reach out. Thanks.